the meeting of the Backbench Business Committee, where we'll be considering applications from colleagues for debates in the main chamber and also in Westminster Hall on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The first application to be heard is from our season ticket holder, Jim Shannon, who has a request for a debate on the humanitarian impact of conflicts on older people. And so, Jim, do you want to introduce your debate?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman and members, thank you very much for the opportunity to request this debate. I suppose the reason why I'm requesting the debate is simply because as elected representatives, when we see conflict, more often than not we see children and we see women, as we often do, because our hearts go to the people who we see as vulnerable. Sometimes what is missed in that is the older people, the elderly people who are missed in a conflict perhaps. As we look across the world, Mr. Chairman, it's not just myself, I think we all maybe do it the same. There's 67 wars in the world. The focus is on in the Middle East and in Ukraine, obviously, but in other places as well. It will be Ukraine, Gaza, Sudan, Myanmar. Older people are frequently left behind due to systematic barriers like ageism and policies which exclude them. The UK's commitment has always been, and even as a soldier in my time and as a part-time, we left nobody behind. That was one of our policies. Explicitly includes the rights, the dignity and safety of older people who are often invisible and left out of humanitarian responses. So I'm very, very keen to get this debate. When I asked for those that would be interested, they obviously right away we had a number of members who would be very interested in these types of subjects, and I think of Brian Matthews as one. David Reid, and from probably a military point of view, Conservative, the Labour Party, Sarah Champion, Steve Witherden, Rachel Maskell, also Martin Rhodes and Helen Maguire, who has spoken, Gregory Campbell, my colleague, and Ayub Khan, the independent who sits behind us in the chamber. So what are we going to try and do with this? Crucially, this debate offers a platform to MPs to help shift the narrative about older people from being seen as passive victims to recognising them as essential right holders and contributors to their families and communities. In times of crisis, older people are responding as volunteers, primary carers for children, respected peacemakers in communities. So by highlighting their resilience and agency, I believe the UK government can lead global efforts to integrate older people into humanitarian and peace-building strategies, ensuring that their voices are central to the design of the interventions that affect all of our lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions? Lee?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Hi, Jim. Jim, as you've used an old form, you haven't indicated which department you want to answer. Is it FCDO or is it Equalities?
I would presume it was FCDO, I was thinking.
And then just, you mentioned additional names there that we don't have on our list here. So maybe if we hand that in.
I'm happy to leave this here, but that makes it easier for you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Martin?
Jim, you've asked for a Tuesday debate, but would you be prepared to consider Thursday?
I'll go wherever you tell me. You know, I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's open. Obviously, Tuesdays are better, but look, honestly, wherever you suggest, I'll be happy to.
Okay, Mary.
Thank you, Chair. And Jim, this is your 20th application of this session, and you currently have 3 debates on the waiting list. So are you okay with the fact that this debate isn't likely to be allocated in this session of Parliament?
Bob and I happened to have a conversation, just a generic conversation about what would happen to those debates that weren't asked. Would they be carried over? And Bob, your chairman, give me the indication of how it would work. So if it goes over to the next one, I think there's a methodology to do that, and I'm happy to follow that methodology.
Thanks.
Any other questions? No? Well, as always, Chip, the clerks will contact you in due course about...
Yeah, and can I apologise to you for last week? Unfortunately, I was held up with lots of things. Everybody was demanding me at that time. I just couldn't get here, so I apologise in advance for not being able. But anyway, made up for today, and that's the new list. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The second application is from Caroline Bowden, and this is for a request for a debate on provision of face-to-face banking services in rural areas. And this is for an application for Westminster Hall on a Tuesday morning. Caroline.
Thank you, Chair. So as you will see from the number of MPs who have supported this application, access to face-to-face banking services is a significant concern in many rural areas, and we do have backers from all, from the three parties for the debate. Bank branches are closing every week across the country, leaving many towns without any high street banks, but these towns are often a hub for a wider community of villages and hamlets, so each bank closure is leaving thousands of residents without access to face-to-face banking services. I only have one bank left in a large rural constituency where public transport is negligible, and people may have to travel for well over an hour to reach the nearest branch of their bank. But face-to-face services are essential. People need advice on complex transactions, they need advice on future financial planning, and for many people, especially the elderly, they need to be able to talk to someone face-to-face. Many are unable to use online services, others don't trust them, and we should not be permitting a system that shuts these people out. Digital connectivity also presents a real challenge in rural areas, and I speak from the heart from my constituency. So the eligibility criteria for banking hubs changed in September 2024, meaning that assessments are now based on access to cash rather than access to actual banking services. But cash machines are not a substitute for banks, and post offices are often located in busy shops, queues can be long, and they cannot complete banking transactions or give advice. So this debate will give members the opportunity to highlight the situation in their own constituency and to share experiences of their constituents. We must reconsider the responsibility of banks to provide services to all their customers. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for raising this issue, because it's something that affects people in my area as well, and it's galling that the taxpayers bailed out the banks in 2008, and the banks make large profits now, but they often don't provide services to people that need them in more rural communities. You have applied for a debate on a Tuesday in Westminster Hall or for the Chamber on a Thursday. Would you consider a debate in Westminster Hall on a Thursday, because the waiting list for that is much shorter and there are a number of applications on the waiting list?
I would consider that, yes. I would prefer it to be on a Tuesday, because I believe that there are a lot of members in the House who would like to talk about this, and I think it would be good to give them the opportunity to raise it. And obviously there are fewer people around on a Thursday.
Anyone else? No? Okay, well, thank you very much for your presentation. The clerks will be in touch with you in due course.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
That completes the public business of the committee. The committee will now go into private session to consider the applications and also allocation of time. Order.